You're such an asshole.
Hang on. This thing come in. You don't see the back office operation. You don't see it. That's the main reason I'm angry all the time. Just the dumb shit I got to deal with. We got a request. You got a request thing and stuff. This is financial. Just so you know, no one unless they're a licensed professional can give you advice. Right? So I can't say, oh, you should invest in this or you should invest in that. I can't. I just can't. All I can do, God dang it, this is just going to vibrate all fucking day. All I can do is say, well, if I were me, which I was me and I is me, here's the things I would look at. But I can't. Oh yeah, you should do that. The only thing I can do is like, here's where I would look. Here's where okay, you don't have a lot of this. You got none of that. Or have you thought about this? All I can do is give you options that you have to further reevaluate and research further. It's just like a menu. Well, here's a menu of things you do. Basically, most of these advice things end up being here's a list of things you haven't purchased. Here's a list of investments you don't have in your portfolio. Maybe consider these things because every once in a while we get a guy who didn't fuck up his life, didn't major in dumb shit, didn't get some gal pregnant. Oh, I got all this money. What do I do? I'm like, well, what do you got? No, I got this. I'm like, well, okay, you ain't got any of these things. Evaluate. I can't say invest in silver. I can't say invest in property. I could just say, yeah, here's where I would look. So let's go through this. And as long as you understand, oh, yeah, buy 40 shares of Disney, which I can't say whether you should or not. But if you're okay with that, here's some areas you might want to research further that maybe you want to look into. Hey, Cappy, I sold my business last year and I have some money I need to decide what to do with. I've had $250,000 in a CD for a year. And it's about to mature. I made about $10,000 on it. I have another little business that pays me about $40,000 a year, and it ties up about $200,000 in cash that I could take out if I need to. I bought my little house with cash and no payment on the truck. I got $30,000 in crypto. Okay, your crypto's covered. $40,000 in a trading account. All right, that's your plan. Another $25 in IRAs, maybe $8,000 in cash. Okay, right off the bat, you're what? You're in your 40s, was it? Hang on. You're almost 50 years old and you only got 25,000 in an IRA. All right. Now, I kind of boost that up a little bit. I mean, at least get the tax that you have not been throwing any money into retirement. So you got everything else. You got 80,000 in cash. You got a business, so that's good. You're running, making 40 grand a year. So that's nice. You got plenty of crypto, I think. I think crypto is good. I mean, if you want to get more, I don't care. It's up to you. I don't see anything about precious metals or silver. Oh, wait. I like to spend my money on guns, and sometimes dining out, but otherwise pretty minimalist. Yeah, where's your precious metals, dude? Where's your precious metals? So you don't have any of that. And, just so you know, I don't advocate a huge position in precious metals. I advocate 200 ounces of silver per person, which you don't all have to buy at once. So my business, and you got another business generates 40,000. So your income is okay if you're a minimalist. You don't have a mortgage. You don't have any car loans or debts. 30,000 crypto, 40 in a trading account, 80,000 in cash. All right. Well, if you don't have a mortgage, that's quite an impressive emergency reserve. 80,000 in cash, unless you needed it to cover like once in a lifetime business expenses or something. But that cash ain't earning interest like your what is it, 250,000 in CD. Okay, yeah, it's just sitting there in cash. How much do you need for 6 months living expenses? And then you got to do something else with that cash. I'd imagine it's $40,000 in living expenses. That should tide you over for a year, maybe, if you're a minimalist. So that $40,000 is sitting there in cash, losing against inflation. You got to invest it somewhere. I don't know where. And then your 250,000. Yeah, it's interest rates are going up a little bit, but so is inflation. But that's kind of not really working for you too much. You don't have any high interest debts for you to pay off, so that's kind of done. I don't have any metals, okay, and I would like to get some more crypto if it ever comes down again, but I'm hoping for your thoughts on the 250,000. I've thought about buying a property. Prices have exploded here, so I'd basically be a slumlord. I've done some of that in the past, but it's a grind. Okay, better I to let's not saying to buy property. What I am saying to do is if you are going to buy property, why don't you do it a little bit more intelligently? You should put on a lens of more like, okay, I'm landing the plane in for retirement. You're almost 50. Let's land the plane in for retirement and not make more problems for yourself. You are a minimalist. You have a very good cash or liquid assets position. You have no debts. Why would you burden yourself with rental property? Why would you burden yourself with being a slumlord, renting to people who in America are increasingly more and more entitled and just pains in the asses to deal with? If you want to invest in real estate, which I'm not against, but if you want to do it, why don't just you buy some land so you don't have to you're just going purely off of capital gains. You're hoping for a capital. By the way, there's no guarantee that the land would go up in value. No guarantee. All right. Hang on. Let me make sure that we don't have Cox internet. Good. We're doing well. Okay. But instead of managing and taking time out of your life and making your retirement and golden years a managerial pain in the ass, if you decide you want to invest in property with the help of a financial planner, I wouldn't be buying a rental property and dealing with people. I would either just buy empty land and be done with it, and if it goes up, it goes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Fine. Or you go invest in a real estate investment trust if you're looking for some kind of dividend income, which I think probably would be the better of the two. It's more diversified. It generates income. You're not managing it. So those are options for you to evaluate. But if you want to go buy a rental property and rent to a bunch of entitled little zillennials, like, oh my God, I need a student loan bail, housing should be a right, and you're the evil, greedy capitalist pig. Have fun. But mine is more from a time perspective. So consider those things before you buy property. Like, do you want to spend time doing background checks, cleaning up plug toilets? Because for the 80,000th fucking time, ladies, stop flushing your tampons down the toilet. Just had my 49th birthday. I'm divorced, no kids. My ex-wife's 3 cats. I spent the last year going to the gym 5 days a week, getting very involved in the church, starting a weekly shooting. Outstanding. Visiting my parents who are getting pretty darn old. You're doing great. That's outstanding with your time. I could start another business, buy a business, but stop, which is just like buying rental property, right? Rental property is a business. It is a business. Why do you see if you are a minimalist and you got no debts, you can make up for your lack of savings in your IRA now going forward, like your retirement funds. That's something that you might want to consider. But you being a minimalist, you don't, and a business that you already have one business and it's already generating enough of a living income for a minimalist. Why would you complicate your life further by starting a business or buying a business? I mean, if you need something to do, okay, fine, I guess they're risky, but why not the same thing with the real estate investment trust? You're like, should I buy rental property and manage it? And I'm like, well, why not just buy a real estate trust and get some dividend income and you free up your time? Should I buy a business and manage it? Why don't you just go and invest in a diversified portfolio of stocks? If you want to own a business, you own a diversified portfolio of stocks that you don't have to manage, and you get yourself a dividend check if you decide not to reinvest it. See, mine. It's almost not. It's not investing. It's just time management. Why would you want to work more? And if you are a minimalist, you don't need that much money. You're not into things. You're not into stuff. It's just me and how I view it. But I personally, I mean, I'm working in banking. All the small businesses, whether it's franchise, or I'm going to start a sports bar and all that. Oh, fuck no. With employees, you got to deal with people. Oh, fuck no. Absolutely not. All those options. buy an asset or get a job. Honestly, man, well, you're going to have to buy an asset. You needed to go talk to the financial planner. You need to figure out what to do with this $250,000 you got sitting there. I can't tell you what to do, but the first thing you should do, unless you want to do your own research, I would go either do your own research and figure out where you want to invest, not all that $250,000. I mean, keep a little bit of cash around, but go talk to a financial planner and see what options they recommend. But that's one thing. You got to figure out what to do with that $250,000, which I can't tell you what to do. We've talked about some options. That's up to you and your financial planner. But here's the sad thing about businesses. 9 out of 10 times, you're just better off working. And if you are a minimalist and your current business makes you $40,000 a year, you don't have to work that much. Why not work part-time? Why not work something you enjoy doing, like being a bartender? Make another 20, 25 grand a year. I would just, because you're not dead yet. You still got a little bit of time to save up here. The business is bringing in $40,000 a year. You don't need to make that much money, but that little bit of extra money that help you top off your retirement funds, however you want to invest it. Yeah, and then you don't have to waste your time setting up the business, setting up an LLC, getting the assets, and having 2 to 3 years of losses before it finally gets online. Dealing with the fucking bullshit, the fucking headaches no. I mean, you go do it if you want. Me, I wouldn't do that. I just fine. What's a diversified portfolio and the thing that pays the dividend? Here it is, and I'm done. No, I have to see that ever again. Yeah, and then if with your parents, are you going to have time to run a business? I mean, they might need some care down the road. Sounds like they did a good job too. Sounds like you like them. All those options will pay me another less than 40,000 a year, except getting a job, which would bring 50 to 70. Okay, so you'd work a full-time job. I do the job. Do you have to do it looks like you're doing a full-time job. You don't have to do a full-time job unless you fail to mention something like, oh yeah, my alimony is 80 grand a year. What I get a kick out of with minimalists is I'm a minimalist, and then but I might get promoted to make $300,000. Like, why do you need the money if you're a minimalist? It's about freedom. But I'll tell you the most risk averse thing is just go work another job, because you're not dicking around with bullshit. You're not managing people. And you're in a, because of your lack of debt and you got a house paid off, you're in a really good situation. And it would be good for you to go talk to a certified financial planner anyway, because they'll be able to look more detailed at your individual, mainly your tax situation. Oh yeah, you need this type of, I think you got to be 55 to do catch-up contributions. Maybe it's 50, but they'll give you all the different options, optimize your taxes and everything else like that. Because I don't have your taxes in front of me, and I wouldn't know what to do if you had them. Do you have any thoughts? I love your streams and books and find your advice clear and reliable. Thanks. We'll keep you honest. All right. So let's just go through the asset classes you could invest in. You don't have any precious metals. Why don't you go buy a little bit of those? Understanding it's an insurance. All right. You don't want it to go up in value. You want it to go down in value, because that means the world isn't coming to shit. I think you got some more crypto, but yeah, if you want to get a little bit more, okay, fine. You do not have enough in your IRA. So I think you would get some tax deductions at minimum contributing to the IRA. Talk to a certified financial planner. They'll get you up to speed and all that. And then what you should invest in based on your age. I guarantee you it's going to be a diversified portfolio of mutual funds, a little bit of bonds, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They'll tell you what it is. That's kind of where I'd be looking at. Talk to an advisor on how to switch that $250 into a retirement fund. It may just be you got to throw it in a brokerage account because you're not going to get the tax deductions. But that's why I talk to the financial, and they'll give you a top-down view of your financial situation. So we have property. We have a private business, which I'm like, that sounds like a headache. You could invest in companies via the stock market. Usually people invest in mutual funds or index funds, so it's already diversified. But you can invest in an individual stock if you'd like, but there's risk associated with that. There's bonds. I mean, maybe you're just very risk averse. Maybe that's why you don't have a lot of, you get your CDs. maybe look at a bond fund. Look at a high quality bond fund that pays a little bit more than a CD. That might be something you might want to look at. What else? We did. You got stocks, bonds, or mutual funds thereof, real estate, whether it's actual property, rental property, or real estate investment trust, precious metals. You got your crypto. You don't need any more guns. What? I keep buying guns. You only need about 8. There's really not much more than you need than 8. And look at all the people making fun of me now. What else am I missing? Let's think of skills. I don't know if you want to like get tools or what your profession is, or if you want to get, become a CPA. That would be another inflation hedge where it's like you could just charge more for taxes 20 years from now, adjusted for inflation. So if there's some kind of career profession that pays, maybe consider spending some of your money getting tools, or maybe your current profession, if there's an added certification you could get that would pay more, I'd look into that. Your house is paid off. Yeah, the main thing is you got to figure out what to do with that $250,000. I've given you some options, but you really should talk to a certified financial planner to kind of guide you where it would be best for you. God, why am I figure I'm missing another asset class. Oh, I guess commodities. You could invest commodities might be something for you to consider. And they got index investment funds for that too. But we did precious metals, commodities, stocks, bonds, real estate, skill/education. Yeah, I don't think we're. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would personally start looking at. See, I would want to avoid work at all cost. So if it was me, I'd take most of the 250. I mean, you got your 80,000 in cash. I would invest in a diversified portfolio of investments that we've talked about before. What and how much? That's up to you. That's why I'm not going to say how much I would invest in one thing or the other. But that's what your certified financial planner is going to have to tell you what the breakdown of that would be. I would not buy rental property. I would not run a business. And then I don't know if I'd work full time if I had a job that paid $40,000 a year and I was a minimalist. I'd probably just work part time. I'd go work, be a part time cop, part time bartender, something that gets laid. So there's my thoughts. I wish I could have answered very directly. Oh yeah, buy this stock or buy that, but I can't. But hopefully I've given you some ideas for you to further evaluate and consider on your own and research. But I normally don't like financial advisors or financial planners, but you have a situation where you really ought to talk to someone who is licensed, who can go ahead and say, yeah, here's where you want to go ahead and invest in. And they can legally do so. But yeah, I can only give you the menu. I can't tell you what to invest in. All right, let's go to the super chats. We got 3. JJ Sedton, $2. No, it's from Stalag 17. Thanks for mentioning Got Film. JJ said, is that the character? You get the ball, I'll get the antenna. Wait, what was Shapiro, not Munster. What was the guy, the comic relief? We're gonna go get what was it? We're gonna go get the antenna. Was that it? I didn't see it too long ago. Hang on, it's gonna bother me. Shapiro, Stalag 17. Harry Shapiro. Animal. That's what it was. Animal. Dung is fun. $5. Cappy, I'm going to Vegas April 1st through the 4th. I'm staying at Caesar's Place. What is fun to do in Vegas in this area if you've been there? Leave the Strip. You're on the Strip. I mean, you could go to the Strip. Okay, look, Dung, regular guy. Let me give you the free advice. Do a night 2 max on the Strip. Then get a car or something and go hike the Gold Strike. Go hike the Arizona Hot Springs. Go hike the Petroglyph hike in Sloan Canyon. I'm not a big fan of the Strip. I mean, if you've never been there, fine. Go walk around, look at the sights. Go do Fremont Avenue. All right. Go up to the Stratosphere is actually kind of cool. I would go up to the Stratosphere and that sphere, the color sphere, that thing looks awesome. I would go check that out. But once you're done doing the touristy shit, I would go out. I'd go outside. Red Rock Canyon, if it's open and the fucking tourists aren't clogging it up, I'd go there. Yeah, that's what I do. All right, that's it. Link below if you got financial questions that I can give you guidance, but I can't answer your questions. Bachelor Pad Economics link below. And I just put a link to courses that I have on Teachable. You can go there. I have 2 courses that are finance related: Achieving Financial Excellence and Achieving Minimalism Theory and Practice. Both are open for enrollment. That's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.